Let's look at Sunday, September 10th, 2017, 8:01 p.m. California time. And I asked Mason Hendricks, can you help me confirm or deny David was part of the alt-right? Almost every article about David states he is alt-right. Where's the proof? And here's what he says. None of us are or were. This alt-right shit that we have been associated with is not cool. Are you coming out to the showing? So he wants to see if I'm coming out to the showing. Again, it's always, he answers a question and then moves on to some other thing, right? Never just kind of focusing on when I'm talking about the alt-right stuff. Let's talk more about that. But he's got that. He made it clear. I mean, the answer is good, I think. None of us are or were. So this alt-right thing, but what are they doing to kind of combat the alt-right stuff? Nothing. They're just letting the media say whatever they want. There's no rebuttal. They're not coming back. I mean, they should be right here with us. But again, we're talking about people that it's kind of weird because they want to accuse David Crowley of being guilty of a double murder suicide, but at the same time, they still want to paint him in a good light, even though they're accusing him of being a child killer. And they're saying all these bad things about David Crowley, but when it comes to anything related to money, to the projects, to any future projects that they may be able to finagle with a Gray State, with David Crowley's work that he created. No doubt David Crowley created it all on his own. That's where it started from. Other people helped, but without him, there would be no Gray State. He created this. He's the creator. Then they kind of flip the script here. So the alt-right thing is just another way that they want to, certain people want to make you put David Crowley in that same group as this alt-right thing. And I don't even know if that was a term when David Crowley was still with us. I'm not sure. If it was, I don't know why anyone would associate David Crowley with that, because he was not alt-right. He was not on the left. He was a libertarian, if anything. And he really doesn't talk about too much of his own political views or anything like that. He was a United States soldier who served this country during some of the more hellish years. Aside from the two world wars, I mean, I guess it's hard to say. I'm sure every war is horrible. Every war is a horror, but David Crowley served during some very difficult times that I can remember trying to follow and having friends and family who were serving at that time. It was hell. So after Mason Hendricks quickly answers my question, then he kind of moves on, because he wants to know if we're coming to the Walker Art Center. He wants to know if I'm going to be there, if Dan Hinn is going to be there. Why the hell would we be there? We barely wanted to be in this thing because we knew this was going to be a hit piece. You know, why would we want to be in that, surround ourselves with that, to go and... I didn't see this film until early 2018, I believe. I believe early 2018. And man, it was hard to watch. And I think I've only seen it, once, maybe twice. And it was difficult to watch. And it's a total hit piece on David Crowley. But he wants to know if we're coming out to the showing. I'm assuming Dan is coming. I don't know why he would assume that. He says, I did an interview the other day and was asked about this alt-right shit, and if the news station doesn't destroy my words or conversation, the company that funded this film is going to hate me when they hear what I said about them. That's pretty interesting too. I want to read that again. Mason Hendricks says, I did an interview the other day and he was asked about this alt-right shit. And if the news station, he doesn't specifically say, I'd love to find out what the interview was, whatever happened with that. But he says, if it doesn't destroy my words or conversations, if they don't twist it, is what he's saying. The company that funded this film, who is the company that funded Eric Nelson's A Gray State? What company that funded this film is going to hate him when they hear what he said about them? Pretty interesting. This could be another reason why at some point he also goes silent. I mean, what do you hear about Mason Hendricks now? And this company, right? This hit piece that he was part of. And now he's turning on them. I mean, they're all these guys, the Gray State Goons, are very good at turning on each other. They do. I don't know why. I don't know why, but they do. They love to turn. Turn, turn, turn. Keep them turntables turning.
But in the end, everyone does have their own free thought and their free will, whether they choose to exercise it or not. So that is up to them. You know, all we're doing is presenting the consequences. And it's interesting that you said psychological warfare with the media, because there's almost comfort in that, because once you realize that TV releases these beta waves, that puts you into a beta wave sleep state, releasing endorphins, so it becomes an addiction, and you're essentially asleep, you're not thinking. And who doesn't like taking a nap or just getting an endorphin rush every now and then? I mean, it's almost not your fault, but once you wake up, it's comforting to know that it wasn't your fault, that you've been so stupid all along. So yes, it definitely is psychological warfare. Although the world is so much more colorful once you're awake. I mean, every day, I mean, you can appreciate every moment. I mean, you drink a glass of water, and instead of just, whatever, I'm slamming it back, you're appreciating it, you're expecting what it's going to do to nourish your body, and everything becomes so much more real once you're aware of it and attuned to it. And free thought is a beautiful thing. These things, like you mentioned, the electromagnetic sphere around the Earth, I mean, I have no idea what that means. But what I'm not going to do is project my insecurities into the matter and say, it can't exist because I can't explain it. What you can't do is start to assume. I mean, it is not only extremely remiss, it is arrogant to assume that our sphere of understanding of the world will persist into the future or even into the next couple days. Who knows? To close your mind off from any possibilities that the world may offer is to close off your own free thought.